Welcome, children, to the English class. Hope you are all doing well. This is your English teacher for today's session, and I am Vijaya Lakshmi. Children, I have a question to you. How are women generally considered, mostly in India? Yes, children, generally in India, the women are considered to be the goddesses, aren't they? Children, let us see if the statement is true or false. After taking birth as a girl, from the very childhood itself, the girl makes the house colorful and bright all the time. As time passes, the girl, who is the love of her dad all these years, has to turn into a bride one day. Thus, by holding a new hand, she enters into her new life. In order to enter into the new life, she has to leave behind the people with whom she lived all these years. The woman enters the new house, takes up the new role. Now onwards, she is a daughter in law to your house, a wife to a husband. This new life expects from her a lot of things. She has to take up a lot of new tasks in the house, which she does with utmost care and responsibility. She wins the hearts of the family members with her sacrifice, patience, etc. Even as working women, they do justice to their jobs as an employee and also as a family person. Children, at the beginning of this session, you had seen how the women are considered like goddesses. Now, I think you came to an idea as to what type of goddesses they are. They do all the tasks in the house like cleaning, washing, cooking, feeding the children, taking care of the old people in the house, sharing love with her husband, whatnot, everything. But whatever they do it very happily because they consider the family to be their world. So, children, respect the women. Women means sacrifice. Our lesson is based on the theme human relations. Human relations will be fine only when a person gives respect to another. That is when the human relations will be good. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Children, this sentence means that all the people in the society are equal. They deserve the same respect, same dignity, irrespective of caste, religion, gender, economic status, etc. Everybody should be considered with equal respect. Our today's lesson is the C reading from your 8th unit. That is, what is my name? I am going to deal the first part from this lesson. Children, the author of this lesson is P. Satyavati Garu. She has written in Telugu Illalakagane Pandagauna, which has been translated into English by Vadrevu Vijaya Lakshmi Garu and Rangarao Garu. So, let us learn something about the author in detail. Srimati P. Satyavati is one of those writers who have brought feminism to the peak in Telugu literature. Children, feminist is a person who works for the rights of a woman, who works for the dignity of woman. That is what our author for the day, P. Satyavati Garu, is. Though she is a retired English lecturer, she has great understanding of the Telugu accent and the idiom of the respective regions. She is adept in portraying human experience universally. The technique of appealing to the readers by weaving the story wonderfully with a philosophical touch and theological aspect is her forte. She has published 4 anthologies of short stories, 5 novels, and a collection of essays. She has won a number of prestigious awards. This story, What is My Name, is originally published as Illalakagane Pandagauna in Telugu in 1990 and has been translated into almost all the South Indian languages and Hindi. Let us check the glossary part, children. Pay attention to the new words and their meanings. Only then you can understand the lesson better. Quiet, which means silent, giggling, laughing nervously. Anguish, severe mental or physical pain or suffering. Urge, a strong desire. Immersed, absorbed oneself in something. Maid servant, which means female servant. Chatted, talk in a friendly and informal way, which you do in your WhatsApp. Zeal, great enthusiasm or eagerness. Daubing, the act of spreading substance such as mud thickly. This you know, children. Daubing, the women in the villages generally they do on the festival days before their houses. They mix the cow dung with water and they sprinkle it before their houses, on which they put the rangoli. Then comes scratching, which means rubbing with one's fingernails to relieve itching. When a mosquito bites, what you will do, you will just scratch to relieve yourself from the itching. Perturbed, which means disturbed. Chief mission, an important task. Mopping, which means cleaning or washing. Sumptuous, that means luxurious or splendid. Ceaseless, constant and unending. Dexterous, skillful. Promptly, immediately. Address, speak to. Swab, clean. Identity, the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. Let us check the reading text. Have you noticed how your father calls your mother? Does he use her name or not? Children, have you ever observed how the women in your houses, like your mothers or grandmothers, how they are addressed by your father or your grandfather, how they call their wives? Have you ever observed? How do the neighbors address her? Does anyone address her by name? What about your grandmother? In this story, P. Satyavati describes how a woman forgets her own name since no one addresses her by name. How does a woman gain her identity? By name, by marriage, by motherhood, by education, by profession, or by anything else? Read the story keeping these questions in mind. A young woman, before being a housewife, a woman, educated and cultured and intelligent and capable, quick witted, with a sense of humor and elegance. These lines mean that the woman before her marriage, she is an educated girl, she is a very cultured girl, very intelligent, very capable, very quick witted. That means she is very clever. She has a good sense of humor, very elegant. She possesses all the qualities even before her marriage. Falling for her beauty and intelligence, as also the dowry which her father offered. A young man tied the three sacred knots around her neck, made her the housewife to a household, and said to her, "Look, Amado, this is your home." Then the housewife immediately pulled the end of her sari and tucked it in at the waist and swept the entire house and decorated the floor with mugulu designs. Children, these lines mean that even though the girl is beautiful, she possesses a lot of intelligence, her father offers dowry to the man to get his daughter married to him. The man ties three sacred knots around her neck and makes her his wife. He also tells her that now onwards it is her home. Then the housewife immediately she decides that it is her world. Immediately what she does, she cleans the floor and she starts decorating the house with beautiful mugulu, which you can see in the picture. The young man promptly praised her work. "You are dexterous at swabbing the floor, even more dexterous in drawing the mugulu. Shabhash, keep it up." He said it in English, giving her a pat on the shoulder. in appreciation. Overjoyed, the housewife began living with swabbing as the chief mission in her life. She scrubbed the house spotlessly, clean at all times, and beautifully decorated it with multicolored designs. That's how her life went on, with a sumptuous and ceaseless supply of swabbing cloths and mugu baskets. These lines say that her husband is very much impressed with her skills of cleaning the house and decorating the house with muggulu and all. He appreciated her, saying, Shabhash, this woman has flattened with his words. From that point of time onwards, she took up the job of cleaning and decorating the house all the time. She took it as her ultimate aim in her life. But one day, while scrubbing the floor, the housewife suddenly asked herself, What is my name? The query shook her up. Leaving the mopping cloth and the mugu basket there itself, she stood near the window, scratching her head, lost in thoughts. What is my name? What is my name? The house across the road carried a name board. Mrs. M. Suhasini, MA PhD, Principal, some ex college. Yes, she too had a name as her neighbor did. How could I forget like that? In my scrubbing zeal, I have forgotten my name. What shall I do now? The housewife was perturbed. Her mind became totally restless. Somehow she finished her daubing for the day. Children, till now you have come to know that the housewife, for so much time, she was busy with her household works. So much busy, she has engaged herself totally in these household works that she forgot her name itself. After realizing that she forgot her name, she is totally disturbed. She became totally restless. Let us see what happens now. Children, if we forget anything, what you will do? You will ask the people who are close to you. So, what the woman did. Meanwhile, the maid servant arrived. Hoping at least she would remember, the housewife asked her, Look, Ammai, do you know my name? What is it, Amma? Said the girl. What do we have to do with the name of the mistresses? You are only a mistress to us, the mistress of such and such a white storied house, ground floor means you. Yes, true, of course. How can you know, poor thing? Thought the housewife. The children came home from school for lunch in the afternoon. At least the children might remember my name, the housewife hoped. Look here, children. Do you know my name? She asked. They were taken back. Generally, the maid servants they call their mistresses as madam or amma. They don't call them by their name. So how can this particular servant can remember the housewife's name? And now it's turn for her children. She herself forgot her name, We don't know if the poor children could remember their mother's name. Let us see.
Your Amma. Your name is Amma only. Ever since we were born, we have known only this. The letters that come are only in Father's name because everyone calls him by his name. We know his name. You never told us your name. You don't even get any letters addressed to your name.
The children said plainly, "Yes, who will write letters to me? Father and mother are there, but they only make phone calls once in a month or two. Even my sisters are immersed with swabbing their houses. Even if they met me in some marriage or kumkum ceremony, they chatted away their time talking about new muggulu or new dishes to cook, but no letters. The housewife was disappointed and grew more restless. The urge to know her name somehow or the other grew stronger in her. The poor children could not help their mother in telling her name because in their house only their father gets letters addressed on his name. The children had never seen any letters coming on their mother's name, nor even herself told her name to her children ever. In this way, her children could not help her. Now the housewife is in a fix because there were never letters from her parents' side also. They only make her phone calls. Even the housewife's sisters, they are also always busy with cleaning their houses, decorating with mugulu. And even if they get to sit or meet anywhere, they just discuss about the new recipes, new mugulu, and all such kind of stuff. Now a neighbor came to invite her to a kumkum ceremony. The housewife asked her neighbor, hoping she at least would remember her name. Giggling, the lady said, "Somehow or other, I haven't asked your name, nor have you told me. Right hand side, white storied house, or there she is, that pharmaceutical company manager's wife. If not that, that fair and tall lady. That is how we refer to you. That's all." That's all the other housewife could say. It's no use. What can even my children's friends say? They know me only as Kamala's mother or some auntie. Now my respected husband is the only hope. If anyone remembers it, it is only he. Children, the housewife could not get her name from the neighbor, and she doesn't have any hope from her children's friends. So, the only hope for her is her husband. Let us see how far the respected husband remembers his dedicated, skillful wife's name. During the night meal, she asked him, "Look here, I have forgotten my name. If you remember it, will you please tell me?" The respected husband burst out laughing and said, "What is it, dear? Never has it happened before. You're talking about your name today. Ever since we were married, I have got used to calling you only as Emoy. You two never told me not to address you that way because you have a name of your own. What's happened now? Everyone calls you Mrs. Murthy, don't they? Not Mrs. Murthy. I want my own name. What shall I do now? She said in anguish. What's there? You choose a new name, some name or other, the husband advised. Children, look at the way how her husband reacted. He forgot her name, and moreover, he takes it as a very silly thing. He generally calls her as Amoy. More than that, he advises her to choose a new name. Do you think it's fair? Very nice. Your name is Satyanarayana Murthy. Will you keep quiet if I ask you to change your name to Shivarao or Sundarrao? I want my name only, she said. It's all right. You are an educated woman. Your name must be on the certificates. Don't you have that much common sense? Go and find out, he advised her. The woman became angry when her husband told her to change her name. But at last he gave a good advice to her to check for her name in the certificates. Since she is an educated woman, she got her certificates on her name. So go and check for them. This is the good advice which he gave her. For better understanding, let us check out the summary of the text. What is my name? Part 1. A young woman, after getting married, makes herself busy with the household chores. Her husband is very much impressed with the way she deals her housewife duties. After some years, the woman realizes that she forgot her name. She inquiries her maidservant, neighbor, children, and her husband too as to what her name is. But none could help her out. Instead, her husband makes fun of her. The woman gets disturbed, but at last her husband advises her to check her certificates, which will let her know her name. Here ends our first part of the story What is My Name, Children? It will be continued in the next session. Till then, this is your English teacher, Vijaya Lakshmi, saying bye. Thank you.